You would think you're on track for a perfect score in the digital SAT math until you hit your second module and encounter the questions I'm about to show you in this video. If you do not understand the concepts I'm about to show you, you can just wave a perfect score goodbye. College board doesn't necessarily ask you complex or difficult questions, but they ask you simple questions that require great attention to detail. With the questions we're about to solve in this video, you're sure to beat the examiners to their game on test day. Don't lose focus. The target is 800. Let's dive into the first question. So, in this question, 3x minus 5y equals 9, kx plus 10y equals 17. If this system has no solution, what's the value of k? So, let me show you the rules you need to know in order to solve this kind of questions within few seconds. Now, this captures three cases you have for simultaneous equation. When there's only one solution, which is the default condition, when there is no solution at all, and when there are infinitely many solutions. So how do you know if there is only one solution? So you need to write your equation in the form of ax plus by equals c. So your simultaneous equation needs to be in this form for you to be able to check the type of solution your equation or your system of equation belongs to. So with this, usually you have two equations. So, but what you need to do is for each of the equations, you need to write a over b. So the coefficient of x divided by the coefficient of y, which is basically your slope, right? So here, if the slopes are not equal, then you have one solution. What that means is that the lines intersect. So if you have lines that whose slopes are not equal, means they intersect, which means they have one solution. Okay. Now the second case is where there is no solution. In this case, the slopes are the same, which means the lines are parallel. However, their intercepts are different. So how do you establish this when you're giving an equation? So a over b, if a over b equals for the first equation equals a over b for the second equation, you also need to check a second condition. C over b should not be equal to c over b. All right. So if these two conditions are satisfied, then for that system of equation, there is no solution. For the third case, where you have infinitely many solutions, you find that both the slopes and the y-intercepts are the same. So you have a over b equals a over b and c over b equals c over b. So this is all you need to know to be able to determine if a system of equation has just one solution, no solution at all, or infinitely many solutions. So let's go back to that question and apply this rule. So 3x minus 5y equals 9, kx plus 10y equals 17. So if it has no solution, what's the value of k? So basically, we need to confirm that a over b is equal for both equations, but then c over b are not is not equal. All right. So let's check that. So 3 over 5, that's for the first equation, should be equal to 3 over minus 5 for the first equation should be equal to k over 10. So we need this to be equal. So if we do this, because you can cross multiply if you wish, there are faster ways to do this, but just let's just use a general approach. So you have minus 5k is equal to 30. So here you divide both sides by negative 5. So k is equal to negative 6. So with this, we've already found our value of k. We do not need to check further. Although if we check further, we'll find out that the c over b are not equal for both cases. All right. So that's it for this question. When k equals negative 6, this system of equation has no solution. Let's do another question quickly, applying this rule. So you have 4x minus 6y equals 12, ax plus 3y equals negative 6. In the system of equations above, a is a constant. If the system has infinitely many solutions, so this is a case of infinitely many solutions, what is the value of a? Now, for infinitely many solutions, the slope has to be equal as well as the y-intercept. So, but our focus is to get the value of a. So once we get that, we don't need to check for any other thing. So 4 over minus 6 should be equal to a over 3. So with this, you can see that it's just you can cross multiply. So you have minus 6a equals 12. So you divide both sides by minus 6. So you find out that a is equal to negative 2. So when a equals negative 2, this system of equation will have infinitely many solutions. You can see question type that seems difficult at first, but it's actually very easy if you know this rule I've just shown you. Let's do some more questions. One of the two linear equations in a system is 3x minus 3y equals 6. The system has exactly one solution. Which equation could be the second equation in the system? So in this case, we have one solution. And what does the rule say about one solution? The rule says that the slopes are not equal. So let's find the slope for the equation given to us in the question. That's going to be 3 over minus 3, which is minus 1. So any equation whose slope is not minus 1 is our answer. All right, so let's check the options. Here you have minus 6 over minus 6. This is minus 6 over positive 6. This is negative 1. So this is not our answer. Here you have 2 over negative 2, which gives negative 1. This is not our answer. We're looking for something that has a slope other than negative 1. So here you have negative 9 over 6, which gives you negative 1.5. So this is our answer. For benefit of a doubt, we can just check the last one. So you have 1 over negative 1, which gives you negative 1. So this is not our answer. So for this system of equation to have exactly one solution, then this among the options we're given, this is the only option that will help us achieve that. Okay. All right. Another question you encounter in your second module: which of the following systems of equations has infinite solutions? So in this case, you're given several options. So your task is to quickly check through the options and determine which one has infinitely many solutions. So first, to check the slopes. So for the slope, you can see here that for the first one, it is 7a over 2b, which is the same thing as the first one. So in this case, the slopes are equal, right? So this qualifies for the first stage. But let's check the y-intercept. So you have 4c over 2b for the first one, and you have minus 4c over 2b for the second one. So here you can see that the y-intercepts are not the same. For infinitely many solutions, the slopes must be equal and the y-intercept must be the same. So option A cannot be our answer. So we'll check option B. So here, take note, be very careful because this is a trap here. They have rearranged the order of the question. So x has to come first, the coefficient of x has to come first, followed by the coefficient of y. So be sure to adhere to that pattern. So here we're going to have 3a over negative 8b for the first equation. We're going to have 9a over 24b for the second equation. So if you simplify this, you're going to have that the slopes are not equal, right? The slopes are not equal. So this actually has one solution. We're looking for the option that has infinitely many solutions. So let's do the third option. So for the third option, you have a over 3b. And for the second equation, you have 6a. So you have to pick coefficient of x first over 18b. So you simplify this, the slopes are the same. So we can proceed to check the y-intercept. So for the y-intercept, you have 4c over 3b. So you have 24c over 18 b. So if you simplify this, you see that 2 here is 3 here is 6, 3 here is 8, 2 here is 4, 2 years, 3. So option C is your correct answer. Okay, but for the benefit of a doubt, let's check the fourth option just to be sure it's not the answer. And obviously, it is not the answer. We've already found our answer. So A over B, so you have 15A over 30B. Then for the second equation, you have minus 10. Okay, you have to rearrange this because this is very tricky. So you have to bring x to this side. Um, so it's not even possible because this does not have the constant, right? So at the end of the day, you're not going to have equal slope. So this is obviously not the right answer. So your correct option is option C. So this is how you solve questions where in the SAT math, especially module 2, they ask you, okay, what makes this particular system of equation to have no solution, or to have infinitely many solutions, or to have one solution. You don't need to attempt to solve it, and in some cases you can't even really solve it. You can only apply these rules that I have given you to get your answer. So I hope this video has showed you something new. If you learned something in this video, be sure to go to the comment section and type what you learned new in this video, and also type your target score in your SAT math. Thank you. See you in the next video. Bye.